joining us for monthly meeting. I'm going to start by reading a part out of Instrument of Thy Peace by Alan Payton. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is sadness, joy. Where there is darkness, light. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, not so much to be understood as to understand, not so much to be loved as to love, for it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, it is in dying that we are born again to eternal life. Father, we ask that you be with us today as we come together for meeting for business. We ask that we be able to listen to each other's shares and concerns. Help us to move forward. We ask these things in thy name. Amen. I didn't know I was supposed to make the agenda. Okay, sorry. I didn't remember that. Did you remember that? I remembered to open with that. Okay. Okay, so that first then? I thought we always did that later. Maybe if there's news from the meeting, I think we need to have the passing of David Stanislaw. I'm not sure the actual date. I was going to say 13th, yeah. I think that would be it under news of the meeting. I mean, we can. Yeah, that's kind of under vital statistics. Sorry. Okay. We'll just go ahead and go down the line then. Approval of the minutes. So if friends have had an opportunity, I have not, but I didn't know. The one thing I did catch was maybe to capitalize Northwest High School. And wait, where was it? I think there were. I thought I saw. Oh, this one is capitalized. Oh, it's weird. Oh, there it is. Wisdom. Seat of wisdom. Wisdom probably is supposed to be capitalized. Clavis Day, and then daycare. That's where it is. Clavis David, and then I would assume daycare would be capitalized as well. So just change it to Clavis David School with the capital S. Okay? Yes. 8:30 to 4? Okay, so for those who didn't hear that, changing daycare's hours from 8:30 to 4 instead of 2:30 to 4.
Oh.
Is it just me that doesn't understand? It's when under ministering counsel and it's talking about her office hours will be established as we move along and Saturday will be her day. I'm not, what does that mean?
Computer day off.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was just like, I'm not sure what that means. Such a budget line item.
Everybody celebrates me. You can do that.
Okay, I've gotten through it. Thank you. I apologize. Are we okay with those, to approve the minutes after the corrections we've talked about? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, then we'll go to committee reports. Assets. I did communicate with Molly, and I know Molly's doing it. So I did that part.
Thank you. Okay. So a few things. First of all, we are having some irritations with Bank of America. So I may have already spoken with you guys, or some of you individually, but as of this point, if you're going to write a check to the church, it has to be written out to University Friends Church. It cannot be University Friends Meeting. It cannot be UFC. It cannot be University Friends Monthly Meeting. It cannot be et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It has to be University Friends Church. And folks from Assets and Pam as a treasurer, I've already spoken with them. I've already spoken with Bank of America once, but we're going to extend those conversations because that just doesn't make sense for our meeting. And it's really frustrating. And apparently it is not a new rule, but they have just decided to start enforcing it. And it's very inconvenient. So in the meantime, if you have written a check to anything other than University Friends Church, hopefully I or someone has returned it to you at this point, because we can't deposit it. They literally won't take them. So that's that. And like I said, we're going to be continuing our conversations with them because it just doesn't make sense for our meeting to function that way. Especially when there are other places where you can add names or acceptable names, and it's not an impossible thing to add multiple names to an account. But apparently Bank of America thinks it is. So anyways, irritations. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, anyways. Regarding building maintenance, the AC unit for the office that has run on a chiller has been turned off. And so I actually haven't looked out there recently, but I think the water is starting to dry up or has dried up. Thank you to the 3-digit degree heat. We do have a mini AC unit installed temporarily that's it's a little one and it's behind the desk. But it doesn't keep up with the office. It's not built for that space. So we are still in the process of finding a permanent solution, but having that and the air chillers is our temporary solution until we have a permanent solution. 2 trash carts have been added with Air Capital Waste since we have multiple groups in the building at this point. We're just producing more trash. So we've got those added out there. I think that makes 4 now instead of just the 2 that we went down to. Friends University Music Department is going to be renting some of our renting the sanctuary for some rehearsals and for some performances because they are renovating their fine arts building and they are needing space, so they'll be renting it from us. An update, and I don't know how often those are, but we've got a calendar and schedule and things like that.
I did learn that singing quick as alumni choir will not.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Okay, so alumni choir was going to be using our space as well, but they are not, so okay. An update for the office. I mentioned last month that Linda, our bookkeeper, had been working in the office, but she got a full-time position. She's still our bookkeeper, thank goodness. But my friend Christina Alvarado, who I do silks with, has been working part-time in the office with Charity. I think Monday through Friday, about 5 hours a day, helping get things organized and cleaned out and creating structures and things like that with Charity, working one-on-one. So she's working as temporary support until we are able to find a permanent person for the position. Nice. Okay. That's so funny. That's funny. Ministry and council and assets are gonna work together to help come up with what that position would look like as a secretary / facilities manager, potentially, what that job description looks like, and how to get, so coming up with details and stuff. That'll be an assets ministry and council combined effort with Charity to come up with that position and then start promoting it. We're getting a new printer for the office. Our office printer is just massively unreliable. Sometimes it connects to things, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it will print when you ask it to, and sometimes it doesn't. And then sometimes it'll start printing even though you haven't asked it to. So we're getting a new one. Charity found 3 really great options and sent them to assets, and we picked one. We are also implementing a passwords policy. We have created it. And because, for one, well, for lots of reasons. It's just good practice to have a password policy regarding when we'll create new passwords, and what they will be and what types of passwords they will be, which is really good because some of the passwords that are in the office have been there for 3 or 4 secretaries and up to 3 different pastors with the same stuff. And that'll just kind of provide a bit more security for lots of things. So that'll be, that's going to be implemented. An update on Quaker Acres. We had a meeting with Farm and Home Realty, our representatives from there. We will have an open house on September 10th, or they will host an open house at Quaker Acres. Honestly, I won't be there. But that is on September 10th. They're going to start promoting it this week, advertising and sending out the advertisement, the information about it. So they're going to send that out this week to lots of different places. They have this whole advertising strategy that they've gone over with us, and it looks really nice. So that'll go out this week. Open house will be on September 10th. They'll also do private showings for people who request them. And then we'll have the auction on September 28th at 6:30 p.m. That's a Thursday. I'll be there and other people from the assets will be there. If you all want to come and be there, you're welcome to be there. Yes, so that is that kind of update. And on that note, many months ago, University Friends approved us selling Quaker Acres, which is why we started the process of getting connected with Farm and Home Realty. But we need to have an explicit minute that I can give to Security First Title from the meeting, saying that majority of the members have agreed that we would like to sell the property, and naming who will have permission to do that as far as like signing abilities. And so I'm going to ask for that minute to be written and put into this month's minutes so that I can send that to Security First Title by the end of August, is kind of the timeline. I talked to a lady on the phone yesterday, and on Friday, and she was very kind and helpful. But what their process is, they'll get the minute from the church and they'll draw up a resolution that essentially says all the same things. And it names the person who will like sign the documents as far as like closing documents. And then a different person will sign and say that, yes, this person has permission. And so I'm going to, what is the word? Ask, drawing a blank. Ask is the word, I guess, for Pam to be the person who signs the closing documents as the treasurer, and for myself to be the person who signs the resolution as the clerk of assets committee. Recommend is the word I was looking for. Ask you guys and recommend that that's how we do it. Woof. It's been a long week. So I could potentially get with, I don't know how we do this. So June, hand it off to you for this.
So, right, are friends in agreement for a minute being written up with Pam and Molly as the signatures for this to happen? Okay.
And to prove that we can sell it. That we're all in agreement.
We're all in agreement to sell the property. Okay.
What exactly does this minute need to say? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of.
I think I think I took some notes in there in a notebook. I
Okay.
could get with
Okay.
you
Yeah.
aside from here to like come up with the exact wording.
Right.
Is that okay?
That'll work.
Okay.
Because we've given approval to it, so
Yeah.
the wording will be
Yeah, it's just about the wording and having the in there.
right.
Okay, cool. Okay, just a couple more things. Sorry, we had a lot at our meeting. An update on our interactions with the Clavis David. I've been saying it wrong. It's either Clavis David or Clavis. And they told us that either way is fine, which is kind of funny. But it's not Clavis, as I've been saying. The Clavis David school, we've been having some conversation with them regarding the lease and expectations versus about using the space and how they use the space and when they use the space. In our last at our last meeting, what we understood as how they would be using the space would be during school hours twice a week. And after monthly meeting, we had a meeting with them just to kind of clarify exact times and dates and expectations, et cetera. And they told us that they would actually only be using the building once a week on Wednesdays, but that it would be full day, 3 different sessions throughout the day between 7:38 a.m. until 7:30 p.m. So instead of having 2 days during the school hours, it's 1 day, all day. And then they also brought some requests to use the building during like other kind of random days throughout the year for different types of occasions, whether that's with families, whether that's parent meetings, whether that's the adults of the children attending. And it's been a bit of a conversation, a bit of a difficult conversation, because what they're asking for is not what we agreed to in some cases. What they're asking for in other cases are things that would be included in what we listed in the lease. And so it's just been a lot of conversation. And so we had the one meeting with them, and then they came to our assets meeting on Thursday, and we're in the process of like deciding how we want to respond to the request that they made at the assets committee meeting. And a lot of it is just asking to use the building, but not necessarily for school purposes based on how it's been described, which is fine in some instances and not fine in others. Just for transparency, for example, they wanted to use it on a Saturday night. We've had a policy for decades that we don't have anything at the church on Saturday nights so that we can be prepared for Sunday morning, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so we are holding boundaries and trying to be clear and things like that. So that could be something that the meeting could be praying for us about, this relationship that we have with them, because we want it to remain positive and communicative and productive. But when expectations are different than we thought, then it can be difficult. So that's just kind of an update on that. And I think it's been good communication, and it's been generally positive, but it is something that we are working through. Okay, finally, this is the end. We were discussing at the Assets Committee dates of monthly meeting, and we were wondering if we could, and this will be like a meeting approval thing, we were wondering if we could shift a couple of monthly meeting dates. The September monthly meeting date is currently on the 17th, and we were wondering if we could move it to the 24th to have it on the 4th Sunday. And then also the October monthly meeting is currently on the 15th, but there are 5 Sundays in October. And so we were wondering if we could move it to the 22nd. And I think that with the September meeting, the purpose is just for Assets Committee to accomplish a few things. We were hoping to have an extra week, and just scheduling with meetings and stuff. It would just be more convenient, frankly. And so we just figured we'd ask for the October monthly meeting, just then extending a little bit of time between September and October, and especially because there are 5 Sundays in October, and shifting it to the 22nd would just kind of create a little bit more space between the 2 meetings. So that's that. Yeah. Yes. October requesting to move it to the 22nd from the 15th. And I don't know who is facilitating those monthly meetings, and that will. Dan is September.
Maybe works better for us because we'll be in the tech versus on the 17th.
Got it.
I have you down for October.
Yeah, I'm also not going to be here on the 15th.
Well, I'm not going to be here on the 24th of September. But can't just because of one.
Yeah. I'm going to hand that off to you.
Okay, so moving monthly meeting to the 24th, and you, Vonda, you said Dan is doing it? Okay. And then moving October's to the 22nd, and Doug, you're okay on the 22nd? Okay. That's fine. I just won't be here on the 24th. I'll be in the air.
Do you want to call for approval for each of those things?
So are friends okay with the moving to the dates of both? Okay.
Okay, great. Does anyone have any questions for me regarding assets?
Somebody can see the river from the launch. And so Larry and John have agreed, John Moore, not John, and said no, and have agreed to go out there on Thursday, the 31st of August, and we're going to clean up a channel, so to speak, a visual channel,
Cool.
so that we can see the river from the lodge.
Awesome.
Because right now it's kind of hard to.
Got it. Cool. So if you didn't hear, he said that Larry and John Wine are going to go out to Quaker Acres and clear a bit of a path and like a view from to the river so that you can see the river from the lodge, which would actually, that sounds lovely. Thank you for doing that. Anything else? Oh. And if August 31st, if anyone else is available to help going in the morning, cool. So you guys, anybody can chat with them about specifics, but that's a Thursday, August 31st, if anyone is interested in helping out. Yes.
To make the authority instead of keys to turn those in.
Oh, good call.
I know I have said.
Okay.
But also,
I have churches.
So he said that we will need people to turn in keys. So if you have keys to Quaker Acres, those will need to be turned in because obviously we are selling the property. We need to give them the keys. We have access to it until we sell it. And so if people are wanting to go out there and just be in the space for whatever you would like, you're welcome to do that. I know that sometimes there are Boy Scout groups out there. I don't know the schedule for that by any means, but we will need those keys before we go to auction. So that's that. Other things? Yes. Good. Okay. All right.
Okay, Pam, treasurer report.
I think everyone has a sheet, and we'll look at the general budget receipts first. Donations were down a little bit in July. And then I expected to see 2 payments from the Meeks in July. So I communicated with Linda, and she said Meeks will show 2 payments in August. Their June check bounced and they replaced it in July. And her July check she wrote wrong, and it was replaced in August along with her August payment. So we will see 2 payments in August, and that will have them caught up. So the $1,090 that on rent and other income, it was the $90 from the Good Time Square dancers, and then $1,000 from Mary's Seat of Wisdom. So that's what the $1,090 is there. I'm very happy to report that on the pastor, we actually paid in July. So that's such a positive thing, you know. It's so positive. So wanted to point that out since there's like blank all the way across until July. And then the office administrator, Linda did stop to start her full-time job. And so that's why the office administrator amount is down. And I think, thinking about it, it's just the way bills fall. Facility expenses, 31. Well, I think I even said last month we will be seeing more bills, you know, on all the AC and everything, and obviously we'll be seeing more in August and probably in September. So that is pretty much anything in the general budget receipts. So a couple things that, one more thing that we will see in August is we did transfer the $27,000 out from our in-trust accounts for Wichita Friends School, and that payment has been sent. And we should start receiving then payment. Was it after in January, because they will start seeing the decrease in their utility bills and be able to pay that back monthly. So that is the general receipts. Nothing much to really report on the UFM Treasury report on the memorials, and the distributions were 0, and our checking account is $178,000. So And you can see the amount at Everett's account, 277,764. So, any questions on the July treasurer report? I think that we got approval last time, since it's quarterly, is that correct? And so we don't need approval or acceptance as of this time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Ministry and council, and yes, I got communicated with Dawn, and she's bringing the report.
Is it a bad thing if I stand? No. Okay. All right. We met on August 1st and are happy to say we have clerks of the meeting through the end of the year. However, we wondered if it was time for the nominating committee to be reconvened and think about maybe a permanent clerk. And so I think bringing that up. Okay. So more conversation to come, but we would be looking for clerk, assistant clerk, and possibly recording clerk as well. Charity had an interesting idea. You know, she's a little bit techie. And we talked just about order of worship and the bulletin and you know, the fact that we don't pass an offering plate anymore, have an offertory. She suggested maybe putting a QR code in the bulletin, possibly for making your offering digitally that way. Fancy. I'm sorry? She could do it too? She knows things too? Awesome. We may be talking to you if that's the route we decide to go, Jocelyn. And also, what? Did you mean to be heard? No? Okay. Oh, yeah. Make sure when it's set up, it goes directly to. And also bringing back, just kind of being able to share our gifts. Back in the day, that was special music. Doesn't have to be music. We kind of talked about, you know, if there are readings or poetry that anyone would like to bring, that might be something to add as well. So something to look forward to in our future. You may be asked to preside over the service by one of us, which, like Vonda did today, to offer prayer, read scripture. Know that when we ask you about that, it also would mean to sit on the facing bench through the entire worship service. Charity likes two. So if I don't stay, I guess she may come up. We'll see. So if you are asked to do that, please understand that that also does mean to stay up on the facing bench for the entire worship service. And the other things I have would be a kind of a repeat of what Molly shared about having someone in the office. Charity was really singing her praises the other day when we talked, or texted, I don't remember what we did, but was really singing her praises. She's outstanding. She's very organized and has been helping to kind of do some decluttering, I think, and get things in order. So we're so thankful for that. I believe that is all I have. Did I miss anything? Yes. Oh, okay. Yes, I can. So August is Beth, September is Dan, October is Doug, and November and December are either you and I, however it lands. So tell me what you want and I'll do the other. Perfect. All right. Did I miss anything? Those that were there? I think I got it all. Okay. There's the report from Ministry and Council.
Thank you, Dawn. Looks like Visitation Committee. Judy Blue is going to present.
Volunteer.
Oh, she volunteered. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Visitation Committee met this last Thursday with Beth, Sue, myself, and welcome to Charity. And I'd like to say that Beth is so faithful about visiting people and about checking in on people by phone. And we need to say thank you very much to you, my dear. So, of course, I have been involved with David Stanislaw. He was a member here. I don't know if you all remember, he worked with the Treasury, I think, Treasurer, years ago. And so, you know, this is why the connection. And then Beth has visited Nellie Peters and has again told her that I would be glad to pick her up sometime, but she figures with a walker and her, you know, disability, I guess it is, that she's more comfortable not to go with. Also, Beth had Erlene and Vanine as guests at her new home and had a visit, and they then went down close to Beth's place and visited with Juanita Binford and had a good visit. She also called John Dickinson, checking on him, and he is having, I guess it's okay. He's having cataract surgery soon. And we also discussed procedures when we have visitors. And maybe that's something that we want to pursue and have conversation about somewhere down the road. And I think that's it.
Thank you.
What?
For visitors.
I'm old school. So one of the things that Judy was mentioning was there's a little flyer in the pews for visitors to fill out, and so do we, if a visitor comes, encourage them to fill it out? Of course, used to, and then we'd say put it in the offering plate, which doesn't come by, or just leave it on the pew. Just things to think about. I think it's really important to, and I think we do a good job when visitors do come, going over and greeting them and welcoming them. But this is just another follow-up. Yes, Joe.
This is from the ushers from the past. I know you guys would announce in the service and tell the people about the flyer and information to fill out. In the past, it was always announced a long time ago
It was
during the service. About the information and the filling out the form, it was announced during the church service.
right. Right.
That's from the history of and then they would actually put that in the trays. And
Right.
we pick those up and put them in the pouch.
Yeah. So I think we, as I say, visitation team, we talked about it, but we're, just wanting more feedback. Because yes, I do remember it used to be mentioned. Now, obviously, if you are the one that's mentioning it and there's nobody and there's no visitors here, then you don't need to share that. But so just, something we're thinking about. So, okay. So I guess outreach committee, I am sorry. And I saw Greg and Rhonda leaving. So I had a game. So news of the meeting.
We've touched on this in our other stuff, but
Coming from all directions.
I just wanted to bring our attention to something that is true. Our church building, and you look at us and you can say, man, there aren't many of us here. But these are some of the things that we're doing that I think that is worthy to take note of, and also worthy to take note of, and also to realize some of it cause us inconvenience, but it's part of a ministry for us. We already meet here ourselves. All Nations meets here. It's good to see Alfred here today. The Scouts come here. The Good Time Squares come here. The Singing Quakers are coming here. Shakespeare in the Park comes here. And now we are adding Clavis David and Mary Seat of Wisdom. Those are both Catholic organizations, but they train children and they are teaching them about Jesus also. And I think that it is important for us to know that although we are small, we are doing things that expand the kingdom of heaven. And that's important to us and to me. So.
Clerk, please. And along those notes of Wichita Shakespeare Company, who meets here, I just wanted to clarify, because Dan did respond that the 24th works, but the 17th is our performance in the meeting house. So that still would work, right, on the 17th? That was another reason. Okay. And it's not going to be Merry Wives of Windsor. That we didn't have enough Merry Wives audition because women of that age were not available. So it's going to be highlights from Shakespeare, a taste of Shakespeare, celebrating 25 years of Wichita Shakespeare Company. That's what you'll be seeing on the 17th. Yes, the performance would be at 7. Actors would be arriving around 6 to set up. Yep. Great, thank you. Yes.
Any other news of the meeting? Yes.
Thanks for letting me shake things up. So, when we talk about new visitor procedures, or we talk about wanting to make sure that we have accessibility for people who might come in, it's so easy when we are just in our own routines, in our own thoughts, in our own heads, to think that it's common knowledge what to do if you come in and you're a visitor, that there's a visitor card in the back of the pew. But if we don't say it, people don't know, because maybe they've never done it before. Or, I know QR codes are a new thing, kind of. And that might seem, well, I already have my giving set up, but somebody might come in as a visitor and say, ooh, I feel really moved by the Spirit and I'm going to give a large donation. What should I do with that? Well, if we don't tell them there are offering plates in the back by the entrances or up front as you come in and go, or here's an easy way to give, they just don't know. So a lot of what I've been doing, spending my time that you have liberated me to spend, is in the office with my office warrior. That's what I'm calling Christina. That's her title. Is going through all of the office procedures from the last 4 people who have sat in that desk and the way that they did things. And they've got it written down different ways. And how do we consolidate and make sure that this makes sense for whoever comes in next in a permanent capacity to be able to just pick up and go. So thank you for the under construction. I feel like I just need to wear an under construction sign on my shirt for the next few months, but it might feel a little uncomfortable. There might be a little bit of like, why are we talking about this? Or why does that need to happen? It's so that we can continue to be a people who are practicing hospitality well. And I think that that's a tradition of University Friends Meeting, is that we are people who practice hospitality well. We want to keep that up. So thank you for your patience as we're under construction in multiple different ways. Okay, that's it.
I might just add, forgive me if this isn't the place, that Joseph Bengi has been moved out of intensive care and he's in a regular room now. So if you want that information, I have it, what room he's in, what building he's at Wesley. So, and just a lot going on for their family, with, Billa at school, Rhoda just starting, a new school, and Blessing, and then what, that tragic happening at Derby with the 8-year-old being run over by a bus, and then here's Blessing taking a bus, and that's just very added and just a whole lot more stress for Mary, because she Blessing has to go up to I'm not even clear which spot to pick up the bus, and Mary wants the bus to pick her up right in front of the house, and she was wanting that before this accident. So just an awful lot of things going on for that family. So they really, you saw in the bulletin about the driving, Mary taking Mary up there, and I don't know on that how that's going, but it's just, I wanted to add that in under news of the meeting. Vital statistics, that's where we would have then the death of David Stanislaw. And financial receipts, none. Is there any other business that needs to be addressed? Okay. I will close the meeting then. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for being with us always. I know there are times when we feel that we are losing touch of you, but you are there. We just need to reach out to you. Listen for the nudgings that you give to us. We're starting off a new school year. Lots of new changes. So we ask that you help us be open to the new changes and help us to have a good week ahead. Thank you. Amen.